Okay, so now we're going back to the centre again, and now it's time for some work on the channels of the leg, and it's time for point of the week. Just what you've been waiting for, okay? One of my favourite points. I'll just show you what it is. You probably guessed, if you're a Shiatsu practitioner, you probably guessed which one it is. It's point of the week, the wood element, and here it is, Gall Bladder 30. Okay, it's called jumping circle, and it's all about releasing the hips. It's the meeting point of the bladder and gallbladder channels. So they both combine just right there in the hip, and it's obviously used for hip pain and releasing the buttocks, and also for sciatica. So it's a really good point. Now, if you look at that diagram, you'll see that the way to locate it is to draw a line between your greater trochanter of your femur, greater trochanter, which is this bony bit that sticks out here. So if you can feel your bony bit of your hip, and then if you go round to your sacrum, and you find the highest point of your sacrum right at the back there, and draw a straight line between them. In fact, I'll take the picture off so you can see me doing it. Okay, so what you do is you take the highest point of your sacrum, your hip bone there, okay, and draw a line between them, straight line between them, and then 1/3 of the distance along that line, just right behind the hip bone, is where gallbladder 30 is, and it's called jumping circle. It's called that because it's like a point that, in fact, it says here, I've got this book, Images and Functions, it says, the name refers to this point's position near the hip joint, a pivot for the circumflexure of the lower extremity. Leaping suggests rapid movement, and it refers to the stance a person assumes prior to leaping, legs bent, which aids the location of this point. So if you imagine you're going to leap like this, okay, and you can go right in there, it's actually that point just right in the hip there, where you can feel the muscles just tensing slightly just as you leap. If you place your hands right here and move down and up, you'll feel the point opening and closing as you move your hips. Okay, so there we have it, okay? Leaping pivot, or sometimes it's called jumping circle or leaping circumflex, but jumping circle is my favorite. So let's do a bit of a session on that. What we're going to do first of all is, if you can do this, is we're just going to rotate the legs to open up the hips. You might want to hold onto a wall if you can't stand on one leg. Okay. And we're going to hold this point here. I'm holding around my hip with my fingertips right into gallbladder 30 there. So what I'm doing is I'm doing this, holding right into there. I'm holding onto the hip and pushing my fingers right into there. So let's release that, release this one. We're going to be so amazingly flexible in the hips by the time we finish this one. Okay, so now Doan is really good for this, or as Kat was talking, we talked just before the session, we were talking about how Kat likes to put a tennis ball there and roll her body right on it, don't you, Kat, with the tennis ball? We were mentioning that earlier, that's a really good option. Doan is superb for this though. So with a Doan, what you want to need to do is just have loose fists, and we're going to take up more like a stance as if we're going to jump. Okay, and we're going to get right into gallbladder 30. Got it? Okay, so we're doing this. And then if you move your hips around, you'll feel that point opening up. You got it? Okay, good. And then we're going to continue down the gallbladder channel on the outside of the legs. And this is the link with the middle burner, because the middle burner is connected through the gallbladder channel into the hips and then down the outside of the legs. And up the inside of the legs to the liver channel. Again, the liver channel runs deep into the groin and into the hips internally. So it's really good to work that too. And then round again to jumping circle. Gallbladder 30. Down we go. We're really into the spring now, so the wood element is really, really ascending. And this is when we need to keep all the joints free, keep our energy moving. One more time. Down we go. And up we go. And that's our liver and gallbladder workout. So let's just relax the hips, see what that feels like. Pretty good. Very good. So the only other thing we need to do now with the middle burner is to work on the stomach and spleen, remember? So let's work the stomach. Feet shoulder width apart. Open up that kidney 1. Keep the hips relaxed. Work down. Work down through the stomach channel on the outside front of the legs. Down we go. Up the inside. And down there. Okay, one more time. Stomach. And spleen. Okay. Brushing off. Okay, how does that feel? Pretty amazing. Can you feel that? Hips are free. Kidney 1 is nice and relaxed, connected to the earth. Legs are activated by all of those channels. We've done all 6 channels now on the legs. Middle burner's nicely starting to open up. Lower burner nice and solid. Awesome.